15 types of people Stoicism warns us about. Avoid them. Marcus Aurelius once mused, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." With this wisdom in mind, let us explore the 15 types of people that the Stoics, like Aurelius, cautioned us to steer clear of. These are the personalities that may not only hinder our journey, but can also root us in negativity. Choosing the relationships around you is also choosing the path that your life will take. The individuals we associate with have the power to uplift us or drag us down into the depths of despair. Today on Stoic in Your Life, we will delve into the types of people that Stoicism warns us about. These are the individuals who can lead us astray from our Stoic principles, entangle us in negativity, and prevent us from achieving tranquility and virtue. Understanding who to avoid is crucial in maintaining a life of serenity and resilience. By recognizing these 15 types of people, you can better navigate your social interactions, ensuring that your path remains aligned with Stoic ideals. Join us as we uncover the traits and behaviors of those who may be detrimental to our Stoic journey and learn how to protect yourself from their influence. Let's dive in and fortify our minds against the negativity that these personalities can bring into our lives. One, the Egoist. Once upon a time, there was a merchant who had a horse and a donkey. One day, he had to deliver a large quantity of goods to another city. So he loaded the donkey with the goods and mounted the horse to set off on the journey. It was a scorching hot day, and because it was carrying too much, the donkey quickly became exhausted. The donkey asked the horse if it could carry some of its load, but the horse replied that it was not its job. Before long, the donkey could not bear it any longer and collapsed in the middle of the road. The man still wanted to continue the journey to avoid any delays. Therefore, he transferred all the goods from the donkey's back to the horse's back, and then they continued on their way. At that moment, burdened with the heavy load, the horse thought to itself, "If only I had helped the donkey earlier." But it was too late. This story reflects a very common trait in human nature: selfishness. In our examination of human behaviors, we encounter the archetype of the self-serving individual. Such a person places their desires at the forefront, often at the expense of others' considerations. They navigate life's decisions with a singular question: how will this benefit me? This mindset propels them to act solely in their favor, disregarding the repercussions their actions may have on those around them. This self-centered approach leads to a pattern of exploiting others, neglecting their needs and reneging on commitments unless they offer immediate personal gain. They operate with a blinding focus on self-advancement, oblivious to the harm they cause in their wake. Consequently, they cultivate a reputation marred by unreliability and faithlessness. While they may accrue short-term benefits, the long-term cost is steep: eroded relationships and lost respect. Their path, marked by cynicism and manipulation, often ends in discord and solitude. Stoicism warns us of the emptiness found in such selfish pursuits. We are inherently communal beings, designed to coexist in concord rather than strife. There is a deeper fulfillment in lifting others alongside ourselves. Echoing the wisdom of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, we find serenity not in self-aggrandizement, but in righteous action and a commitment to the welfare of our peers. What brings a person tranquility is to do what's right and to be focused on the well-being of his fellow man. In the hustle of modern life, where individual success is often glorified, it's crucial to remember that true contentment comes from contributing positively to the lives of those around us. When we act selflessly, we build stronger, more meaningful connections and foster a community based on mutual respect and support. The selfish person fails to see this, focusing only on their short-term gains, and in doing so they miss out on the profound satisfaction that comes from altruistic actions. By avoiding such individuals, or at least recognizing their tendencies, we can protect our own peace of mind and cultivate healthier, more supportive relationships. reflect on your interactions, and consider how you can contribute positively, even in small ways, to the lives of those around you. This shift in perspective not only aligns with Stoic principles but also enriches your life with deeper, more fulfilling connections. In our journey through life, let's strive to be the horse that helps the donkey, rather than regret missed opportunities for kindness and support. The lesson from this story is timeless and resonates with the teachings of many Stoic philosophers who emphasize the importance of community and mutual aid. As Seneca wisely said, "No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." By internalizing these lessons, we can better navigate our personal and professional lives, ensuring that we build a legacy of kindness and integrity. So, next time you encounter a selfish person, remember the story of the merchant, the horse, and the donkey, and choose the path of compassion and cooperation. Your actions today shape the world of tomorrow, and in choosing to act selflessly, you contribute to a more harmonious and just society. 2. The Sycophant. Beware of the flatterer, a figure that Stoicism warns us about. Flatterers come to us with words that seem sweet, but their intentions are far from pure. They shower us with praise, not because they genuinely appreciate us, but because they want something in return. Their compliments are like a currency used to gain personal benefits rather than genuine expressions of admiration. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "If you wish to be loved, love." True admiration and love are given freely without expecting anything in return. When someone flatters you excessively, they are often hiding their true intentions behind those words. They might want a favor, seek to influence you, or manipulate you for their gain. It's essential to see past the facade and recognize the true motive behind their adulation. Flattery can be alluring. It can make us feel good and boost our ego. However, it is crucial to understand that such insincerity benefits no one in the long run. Imagine a scenario at work where a colleague constantly praises your every move. At first it feels great, but soon you notice they start asking for favors, expecting you to cover their shifts or support their ideas unquestioningly. This realization can be quite disheartening, as you see that their friendship was built on a foundation of deceit rather than mutual respect. In modern life, social media is a fertile ground for flatterers. We often encounter people who shower us with likes, comments, and shares, but it's essential to discern who genuinely supports us and who seeks something in return. Consider a social media influencer who receives countless compliments and praises daily. While some followers genuinely admire their content, others might be looking to ride on their coattails for exposure or favors. Recognizing this distinction can help the influencer foster genuine connections and avoid being taken advantage of. To navigate through these interactions wisely, we need to cultivate discernment. We must learn to value sincere interactions over hollow praise. When someone offers a compliment, ask yourself, is this praise coming from a place of honesty, or is there an underlying motive? Genuine admiration doesn't seek rewards. It is given freely and sincerely. By focusing on the intent behind the words, we can better understand the people around us and build more meaningful relationships. Furthermore, it's essential to reflect on our behavior. Are we sometimes tempted to flatter others to gain their favor? Stoicism teaches us to act with integrity and authenticity. We should strive to offer genuine praise when it is deserved and avoid using flattery as a tool for manipulation. In doing so, we create an environment of trust and respect, where relationships can thrive on honesty rather than deceit. Let's consider a story from the workplace. May, a dedicated employee, often receives compliments from her colleague Mark. Initially, she feels valued and appreciated. However, she starts to notice a pattern. Mark's praise always precedes a request for help or support on his projects. May realizes that Mark's flattery is a strategic move to gain her assistance rather than genuine appreciation for her work. This insight helps May to set boundaries and communicate her concerns with Mark, fostering a more honest and respectful working relationship. By recognizing the signs of flattery and understanding the flatterer's true intentions, we empower ourselves to make better decisions. We protect our time and energy from being exploited and ensure that our relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect and sincerity. It's a reminder that not all praise is genuine, and that our value does not depend on the adulation of others, but on our inner virtue and integrity. Open-ended questions can also help deepen our understanding and interactions with others. Ask yourself, how can I distinguish genuine praise from flattery? What steps can I take to ensure my actions are always sincere and honest? By reflecting on these questions, we can align our actions with Stoic principles and foster authentic connections. The flatterer is a person we should be cautious of, as their excessive praise often masks ulterior motives. By understanding and recognizing the true intent behind flattery, we can protect ourselves from insincerity and build relationships based on honesty and respect. Remember the words of Epictetus: "If you wish to be loved, love. Genuine admiration is given freely and without expectation, and it is this authenticity that we should strive for in our interactions." Let us practice discernment, value sincerity, and cultivate genuine connections in our lives. 3. The Avaricious. Let's dive into another type of person that Stoicism warns us to be wary of: the greedy. The greedy are those who are consumed by an insatiable desire for wealth, constantly chasing more without ever finding satisfaction. As Seneca wisely remarked, wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. This perfectly captures the essence of greed. These individuals are trapped in a never-ending cycle of desire where no amount of accumulation is ever enough. Their lives revolve around a relentless pursuit of material gain, viewing life as a zero-sum game where one's gain is another's loss. Consider the mindset of the greedy. They are always on the lookout for the next opportunity to increase their wealth, often at the expense of their integrity and peace of mind. Their actions are driven by an unquenchable thirst for more, which tarnishes their character and clouds their judgment. They become so engrossed in their pursuit that they lose sight of the true riches in life: virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. Do you ever find yourself getting caught up in a similar chase for material success? It's important to reflect on what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment. Stoic philosophy teaches us to seek contentment in what we already have, to appreciate the values and virtues that bring lasting fulfillment rather than fleeting material success. The greedy may accumulate vast amounts of wealth, but they do so at the expense of their serenity and moral compass. They are never truly happy or content, always yearning for more. In contrast, a Stoic finds joy and satisfaction in the simple, the modest, and the virtuous. How often do we overlook the small pleasures and values in life because we are too focused on what we don't have? Reflecting on the lives of the greedy, we should not envy their material wealth but rather pity their inability to find contentment and peace within themselves. Their constant craving for more leaves them perpetually unsatisfied and disconnected from the deeper joys of life. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, advised, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This is a powerful reminder that true happiness and contentment come from within, not from external possessions. So, what can we learn from this warning about the greedy? It's a call to focus on our inner wealth, our virtues, our wisdom, our inner peace. When we prioritize these over material possessions, we find a deeper and more lasting satisfaction. Have you ever experienced a moment when acquiring something material didn't bring you the happiness you expected? This is a common experience, highlighting the futility of seeking happiness in external things. The greedy live in a state of constant dissatisfaction, always looking for the next thing that will supposedly bring them happiness. But the truth is, no amount of wealth can fill the void they feel. This is because true fulfillment comes from living a life of virtue, wisdom, and contentment with what we have. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This perspective shifts our focus from acquiring more to being satisfied with less. Engaging with these ideas, we should ask ourselves, are we placing too much value on material wealth? Are we allowing the pursuit of more to overshadow our appreciation for what we already have? These are important questions to ponder as we navigate our lives. The Stoic approach encourages us to cultivate a mindset of abundance, not through possessions, but through a rich inner life and a content heart. In our modern world, where consumerism is rampant and the pressure to accumulate wealth is intense, the Stoic warning against greed is more relevant than ever. It's easy to get caught up in the race for more, but we must remind ourselves of the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. By focusing on our inner virtues and finding contentment in simplicity, we can lead a more fulfilled and serene life. Ultimately, the greedy are a cautionary tale. They remind us of the emptiness that comes from a life focused solely on material gain. Instead of envying their wealth, we should strive to cultivate our inner resources, our virtues, wisdom, and inner peace. By doing so, we not only avoid the pitfalls of greed, but also embrace a life of true richness and fulfillment. So next time you find yourself longing for more material possessions, ask yourself, will this truly bring me happiness? Or is there a deeper, more enduring source of contentment I can tap into? This exploration of greed and its consequences invites us to reflect deeply on our own lives and values. Are we prioritizing what truly matters? Are we cultivating a rich inner life that brings lasting joy? These are the questions that can guide us toward a more stoic and ultimately more fulfilling way of living. Or, the envious. Beware of those who, like shadows, linger with a hidden agenda. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, caution us against certain types of people who can poison our peace and derail our journey to inner tranquility. Seneca once remarked, "Envy is the ulcer of the soul." Among the people the Stoics warn us to steer clear of, the envious hold a significant place. These individuals harbor deep-seated resentment towards others' achievements and blessings. Viewing life through a lens of competition, they believe that one person's gain equates to their loss, fostering bitterness and a pervasive sense of injustice within themselves. This scarcity mindset blinds them to the abundance of opportunities that life generously offers. The envious often engage in actions that are both petty and harmful, driven by a need to diminish the successes of those they perceive as rivals. They might trivialize others' accomplishments, attributing success to mere luck, or indulge in spreading harmful gossip to tarnish reputations. Their spitefulness becomes most evident when they derive pleasure from the setbacks of those they envy, rather than using these achievements as motivation for their own personal growth. Stoicism teaches us that envy is an involuntary response born from ignorance, yet we hold the power to choose not to act on it. By adopting a perspective of benevolence, we can learn to rejoice in the good fortune of others and view their successes as a catalyst for our own development, thus avoiding the destructive path of envy. Relating this to modern life, consider the workplace, where competition can sometimes breed envy. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to colleagues who might be climbing the career ladder faster. However, by celebrating their achievements and learning from their successes, we cultivate a healthier, more productive mindset. As Marcus Aurelius advised, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. By shifting our perspective and focusing on our own growth, we can transform envy into inspiration and progress. In our social circles, the envious can often manifest as friends or acquaintances who seem supportive on the surface, but harbor hidden resentments. It's crucial to identify and distance ourselves from such negativity, as it can subtly erode our own sense of accomplishment and self-worth. Epictetus wisely noted, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By choosing to respond with empathy and understanding, we not only protect our inner peace but also set a positive example for others to follow. To counteract envy within ourselves, practicing gratitude and focusing on our unique journey can be incredibly effective. Regularly, reflecting on our progress and the things we are thankful for shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. As Seneca suggested, he who envies others does not obtain peace of mind. Embracing this mindset allows us to appreciate the diversity of human experience and the various paths to success, reinforcing the Stoic belief in the importance of inner tranquility over external achievements. Furthermore, engaging in community and altruistic activities can help dilute the feelings of envy. By contributing to the well-being of others, we shift our focus outward, finding joy in the collective success rather than individual triumphs. This not only enriches our own lives but also builds a supportive network that thrives on mutual respect and admiration. The envious pose a significant challenge to our quest for inner peace and contentment. By recognizing and avoiding their toxic influence, and by cultivating a mindset of gratitude and benevolence, we can navigate life's complexities with the wisdom and serenity advocated by the Stoics. As we strive to embody these principles, let us remember the words of Seneca: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Embracing this philosophy, we can rise above envy and achieve true fulfillment. Thank you for watching our video. Now we want to hear from you. Have you encountered any of these types of people in your life? How did you handle it? Are there other types you think Stoicism warns us about that we missed? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation and learn from each other's journeys. 5. The Perpetual Complainer. In your journey through life, you'll undoubtedly encounter the chronic complainer, a figure the Stoics recognize as a beacon of negativity. This individual, perpetually dissatisfied, constantly criticizes and laments their lot in life. For them, nothing ever seems right. Whether it's the weather, the government, their job, or personal relationships, they find fault incessantly. What are mere trifles to others become insurmountable obstacles for them. They adopt the mantra, "Nothing is satisfactory," choosing to lament rather than act, seeking sympathy instead of solutions. This behavior only deepens their dissatisfaction, creating a vicious cycle of negativity and discontent. As Epictetus wisely said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." The Stoic philosophy urges us not to mirror the complainer. Adversities are inevitable, but relentless lamentation only worsens our situation. Instead, wisdom dictates that we focus on what lies within our power, taking positive steps rather than succumbing to a mire of negativity. Life will indeed present challenges, but how we respond, armed with wisdom and fortitude, or marred by endless complaints, is entirely up to us. Consider the story of John, a talented graphic designer. John worked at a prominent firm but found himself constantly complaining about every aspect of his job. His workload, his colleagues, even the office coffee. Nothing seemed right. His constant griping created a toxic atmosphere, affecting not only his performance but also his relationships at work. One day, a friend introduced him to Stoic philosophy. Intrigued, John decided to apply its principles to his life. Instead of focusing on the negatives, he began to concentrate on aspects within his control. He improved his skills, sought constructive feedback, and gradually shifted his mindset from complaint to action. Over time, John noticed a significant improvement in his job satisfaction and overall happiness. His story serves as a powerful reminder that our perspective can transform our experiences. So, what about you? Have you ever caught yourself falling into the trap of chronic complaining? How did it affect your mood and your relationships? By reflecting on these questions, you can begin to understand the impact of negativity on your life and take steps to change it. Start by identifying one area where you frequently complain. Is it something you can change? If not, can you change your perspective on it? Remember, the goal is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. The chronic complainer represents a mindset that the Stoics advise us to avoid. By constantly criticizing and lamenting, these individuals cultivate a poisonous mindset that hinders personal growth and happiness. Instead, we should strive to adopt a Stoic approach, focusing on what lies within our power and responding to challenges with wisdom and fortitude. Life will always have its ups and downs, but our response is what truly defines our experience. By choosing action over complaint, we can transform our lives and those around us for the better. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to practice resilience and cultivate a positive mindset. Embrace it with the wisdom of the Stoics, and you'll find that even the most difficult situations can become manageable. So, the next time you catch yourself complaining, pause and reflect. How can you turn this moment into a step towards improvement? 6. The Martyr. Let's talk about the self-pitying soul, the individual who drowns in their sorrows and perpetually plays the victim. This person avoids responsibility for their situation, constantly pointing fingers at others, fate, or the cosmos, never pausing to look inward. They live in a narrative of woe is me, fostering a sense of helplessness and bitterness. Imagine someone who always blames external factors for their troubles, who sees themselves as a perpetual victim of life's circumstances. Stoicism warns us to be wary of such individuals and to avoid becoming like them. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, advise us to avoid self-pity and to maintain a balanced perspective through life's ups and downs. Instead of wallowing in our troubles, they encourage us to focus on what we can control and to cultivate resilience. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." This quote underscores the importance of our response to adversity. In the face of hardship, directing our efforts towards what we can influence is far more productive than adopting the victim's guise. Trials and tribulations are an inevitable part of life. However, we have a choice in how we confront them, with maturity or theatrics. Consider Marcus Aurelius, who reminds us, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be met with obstruction, ungratefulness, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all due to the offender's ignorance of what is good and evil. This mindset prepares us to face challenges without succumbing to self-pity. Instead of dwelling on our misfortunes, we should strive to understand that everyone faces obstacles and that these obstacles are opportunities for growth. But why is it so important to avoid self-pity? When we indulge in self-pity, we give away our power. We start to believe that we are at the mercy of external forces, which can lead to a sense of despair and hopelessness. This mindset is detrimental to our well-being and personal growth. By taking responsibility for our actions and our responses to situations, we reclaim our power and can make meaningful changes in our lives. Have you ever noticed how empowering it feels to take charge of a difficult situation, rather than lamenting your bad luck? Moreover, self-pity can alienate us from others. People are naturally drawn to those who are resilient and proactive, not to those who constantly complain and play the victim. By embracing a Stoic mindset and focusing on what we can control, we become more attractive to others, both personally and professionally. Think about the people you admire in your life. Are they those who constantly complain, or are they those who face challenges head-on and with grace? So, how can we apply this Stoic principle in our daily lives? It starts with self-awareness. When you catch yourself feeling sorry for yourself, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond in a way that is productive and empowering? This shift in perspective can transform your approach to challenges and help you build resilience. Marcus Aurelius also advises, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Another practical step is to cultivate gratitude. When we focus on what we are thankful for, We shift our attention away from what we lack or what has gone wrong. Gratitude helps us maintain a balanced perspective and prevents us from falling into the trap of self-pity. Have you ever kept a gratitude journal? It can be a powerful tool for shifting your mindset and building resilience. Engage with your community. Surround yourself with people who embody resilience and a positive outlook. Their attitudes can be contagious and can help reinforce your own efforts to avoid self-pity. Stoicism is not just a solitary practice. It is also about engaging with others and learning from them. Who in your life can you look to as a model of Stoic resilience? Remember that setbacks are a natural part of the human experience. They are not a sign of personal failure, but rather an opportunity for growth. When we stop viewing ourselves as victims and start seeing ourselves as capable of overcoming obstacles, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and a more fulfilling life. Reflect on your past challenges. How have they shaped you and helped you grow? Beware the self-pitying soul, both in others and within yourself. Embrace the Stoic principles of resilience, responsibility, and a focus on what you can control. As Seneca wisely said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." By adopting this mindset, you can navigate life's challenges with grace and emerge stronger on the other side. How will you apply these Stoic lessons to your life today? 7. The Conceited. The Stoics have long warned us about various types of individuals whose behaviors and attitudes can be detrimental to our own development and peace of mind. Among these, the arrogant person stands out, not only because of their exaggerated self-regard, but also due to the toxic environment they create around them. In this discourse, we delve into the nature of arrogance, its impacts, and how Stoic wisdom advises us to navigate our interactions with such individuals. Arrogance is marked by an inflated sense of one's own importance and a steadfast belief in one's superiority, which often masks one's own flaws and distorts their perception of reality. Arrogant individuals see themselves as infallible, excelling in all they do, and entitled to privileges that others are not. This distorted self-view leads them to dismiss others as inferior, fostering an atmosphere of intolerance and disdain. In the Stoic tradition, arrogance is viewed as a significant barrier to personal growth, as it shuts out the wisdom that comes from listening to others and the humility essential for continuous learning. As Seneca wisely said, "A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness." Stoicism, at its core, emphasizes humility and the acceptance of our inherent imperfections. The pursuit of virtue, rather than self-aggrandizement, is where true pride should lie. This philosophy is beautifully encapsulated in the words of Marcus Aurelius, who advised, "It is not our place to judge the lives of others. Each person is shaped by their unique character and the inescapable forces of their lives." By internalizing this sentiment, we are guided towards a more compassionate and equitable perspective of those around us. This open-hearted approach allows us to engage with the world in a manner that fosters connections based on equality and mutual respect, rather than divisive arrogance. In modern life, we often encounter individuals who display arrogance, be it in the workplace, social settings, or even within our families. The key to dealing with such individuals from a Stoic viewpoint is to maintain our own humility and not be swayed by their inflated self-importance. It's crucial to remember that arrogance often stems from insecurity and a deep-seated need for validation. By recognizing this, we can approach such individuals with a sense of empathy rather than frustration. As Epictetus noted, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This quote serves as a powerful reminder of the value of humility in the quest for wisdom and growth. Moreover, the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot is particularly relevant when dealing with arrogant individuals. We cannot change their behavior, but we can control our reaction to it. By not allowing their arrogance to disturb our peace of mind, we maintain our inner tranquility and stay true to our values. This approach not only protects our mental well-being but also sets a positive example for others. In navigating interactions with arrogant individuals, it's helpful to remember the Stoic principle of sympathia, the interconnectedness of all humans. This principle encourages us to see the common humanity we share with others, even those whose behaviors we find challenging. By doing so, we can foster a more inclusive and understanding environment. As Marcus Aurelius pointed out, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This introspection can lead to greater empathy and reduce our tendency to judge others harshly. While arrogance can be a significant challenge, especially in today's fast-paced and competitive world, Stoic philosophy provides us with the tools to handle it effectively. By embracing humility, focusing on our own growth, and maintaining our inner peace, we can navigate our interactions with arrogant individuals in a way that is both compassionate and empowering. Remembering the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, such as the words of Seneca, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay," we can approach each situation with a calm and measured response, ultimately leading to a more harmonious existence. By doing so, we not only protect our own well-being but also contribute to a more understanding and tolerant world. 8. The indifferent. Let's talk about the apathetic type of person, someone who moves through life with a notable lack of empathy, often oblivious to the emotional landscapes of those around them. These individuals are deaf to the sentiments they might wound, plowing forward in pursuit of personal goals without a second thought to the emotional turmoil they leave behind. Their heedless advance not only causes pain, but also creates an environment where others feel undervalued and neglected. Those who exhibit apathy tend to lack the necessary introspection to navigate social interactions with finesse and sensitivity. Their blunt approach and disregard for the feelings of others erode the foundations of trust and mutual respect, keeping their relationships shallow and devoid of genuine connection. This behavior can lead to a corrosive social environment where meaningful bonds are rare and fleeting. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to cultivate empathy, kindness, and thoughtful engagement with our fellow beings. While we cannot control how others receive our actions, our intent should always be to foster harmony and understanding. Neglecting this responsibility breeds conflict and solitude, whereas mindfulness promotes a sense of belonging and community. Reflecting on the wisdom of Epictetus, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. This means that our perception and reaction to events shape our emotional experiences, highlighting the importance of approaching others with care and consideration. Consider a modern-day scenario. You are at work, and a colleague is visibly stressed, juggling multiple tasks with deadlines looming. An apathetic individual might ignore this, focusing solely on their own workload and goals. In contrast, a person guided by Stoic principles would take a moment to acknowledge their colleague's struggle, perhaps offering a kind word or assistance. This small act of empathy can significantly impact the colleague's emotional state, fostering a supportive and collaborative work environment. Now, think about your own interactions. Have you ever been so absorbed in your own challenges that you failed to notice someone else's pain? It's a common occurrence in today's fast-paced world, but one worth addressing. By practicing mindfulness and empathy, we can break the cycle of apathy and build stronger, more meaningful connections with those around us. In friendships and family relationships, apathy can be particularly damaging. Imagine a friend who consistently dismisses your concerns or a family member who shows little interest in your achievements or struggles. Over time, this lack of engagement erodes the trust and affection that once formed the bedrock of the relationship. On the other hand, showing genuine interest and concern can strengthen these bonds, creating a network of support and love. As you navigate through life, aim to be mindful of the impact your actions and words have on others. Cultivate a habit of checking in with those around you, not just when it's convenient, but regularly and sincerely. This practice not only benefits those you interact with, but also enriches your own life, fostering a sense of connection and community. Ask yourself, how can you incorporate more empathy into your daily interactions? What small changes can you make to ensure that you are not unintentionally contributing to the emotional isolation of those around you? By reflecting on these questions, you can begin to shift your approach, prioritizing empathy and understanding in your relationships. The apathetic individual represents a way of being that the Stoics warn us to avoid. By disregarding the feelings of others, they create a world of hurt and disconnection. However, by embracing empathy and thoughtful engagement, we can build stronger, more resilient relationships. Remember the words of Epictetus and strive to judge and react to events with compassion and understanding. Through mindful actions, we can foster a sense of community and belonging, enriching our lives and the lives of those we encounter. The lesson here is clear. Empathy is not just a moral duty, but a cornerstone of meaningful human connection. If you've made it this far, you're truly committed to your Stoic journey. Drop a comment saying, "I am vigilant," to show you're dedicated to recognizing and avoiding these types of people. Stay tuned, the wisdom continues. 9. The stubborn. Picture this. You're in a conversation, hoping for a meaningful exchange, but the person you're speaking with is completely inflexible, holding on to their opinions like a dog with a bone. This type of person, the intransigent, steadfastly clings to their beliefs, refusing to consider any perspective but their own. They shut down dialogue and make any form of compromise impossible, creating an environment ripe for conflict. Imagine how frustrating it is to deal with someone who disregards advice or alternative solutions, insisting on their way regardless of the potential benefits of other approaches. The intransigent person is trapped in their own rigidity, preferring to persist in their errors, rather than admitting they might be wrong. This stubbornness not only stunts their own growth, but also erects barriers in their relationships, both personal and professional. Interactions with them become battles for dominance, each conversation a high-stakes all-or-nothing proposition. Such unyielding firmness leads to isolation, as people grow weary of engaging with someone who leaves no room for dialogue or compromise. Stoicism offers a stern warning against this kind of inflexibility. While it's commendable to hold fast to one's principles, true wisdom lies in knowing when to apply them with discernment and compassion. It's a delicate balance between steadfastness and adaptability. As Seneca once said, stubbornness becomes stupidity. When we stubbornly cling to a rigid self-image, we miss out on opportunities for growth and improvement. Our journey should be rooted in the pursuit of truth and self-betterment, not in the defense of an inflexible ego. Consider for a moment the impact of embracing a more open-minded approach. How much more could we learn if we allowed ourselves to consider other viewpoints? What relationships might flourish if we practiced compromise and showed a willingness to meet others halfway? Epictetus reminds us that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. This quote underscores the importance of humility and the recognition that we do not have all the answers. By being open to change and willing to adjust our views, we not only enhance our personal development, but also foster stronger, more harmonious relationships. Picture a world where interactions are characterized by mutual respect and a genuine willingness to understand one another. This is the world Stoicism encourages us to build, one where wisdom and compassion guide our actions. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever encountered someone whose rigidity caused unnecessary friction? How did it feel to engage with them, knowing that no matter what you said, their stance would remain unchanged? Now, imagine if that person had been open to dialogue and willing to consider your perspective. How different would that interaction have been? The practice of Stoicism teaches us to be vigilant against becoming intransigent ourselves. It urges us to strive for a balance between holding true to our principles and being adaptable enough to evolve with new information and experiences. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest figures, advised, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance. By adopting this mindset, we open ourselves to a continuous journey of learning and growth. We become more effective communicators and more empathetic individuals. This approach not only benefits us, but also positively impacts those around us. Imagine the potential for collective progress if more people embraced this philosophy. Reflect on your own interactions. Are there areas where you might be holding too tightly to your own views? How might your relationships improve if you practiced a bit more flexibility and openness? Consider engaging in a conversation with the intention of truly listening and understanding, rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak. In the end, the intransigent person is not just a cautionary tale, but also a mirror, reflecting the potential for stubbornness within us all. Stoicism invites us to look into this mirror and choose a different path, one of wisdom, compassion, and continuous self-improvement. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a more understanding and connected world. So, next time you find yourself in a conversation, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, am I being open to the perspectives of others? Am I willing to adjust my views in the light of new information? Remember, it's not about being right. It's about seeking the truth and fostering growth. As we navigate through life, let's strive to be flexible, open-minded, and ever willing to learn, for that is the true essence of Stoic wisdom. 10. The skeptical. Seneca once remarked, "It is the failing of a sour old man to see no true goodness in anything." This sentiment aptly introduces the cynic, a toxic archetype warned against in Stoicism. Cynics, with their deep-seated skepticism, dismiss any display of sincerity or idealism as naivety. They are the naysayers who corrode the fabric of hope and community, always suspecting ulterior motives behind acts of virtue. Their world is one where honesty and compassion are mere illusions, and their scornful laughter often hides a profound sadness for the goodness they feel life has denied them. Stoicism, however, urges us to look beyond this veil of disappointment. Despite the cynic's doubts, we are encouraged to maintain a steadfast belief in humanity's capacity for virtue. Marcus Aurelius counsels us to face the day with awareness of others' flaws, yet hold on to the hope for collective moral progress, saying, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." Yet, despite this, we must strive to uphold our principles and lead by example, cultivating a positive environment that can subtly counteract the negativity of the cynic. By embodying the virtues of Stoicism, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we can shield ourselves from the cynic's corrosive influence and perhaps even inspire a change in their perspective. In modern life, this means engaging with others from a place of understanding and patience rather than judgment, thus fostering an atmosphere where hope and goodwill can flourish. By recognizing and avoiding such individuals, we not only protect our own mental well-being, but also contribute to a more uplifting and virtuous community. As we traverse our daily lives, let us remember Epictetus's wisdom. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This timeless advice is as relevant today as it was in ancient times, guiding us to choose our companions wisely and nurture relationships that support our growth and serenity. 11. The Manipulators. Epictetus wisely said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound insight is particularly relevant when dealing with manipulators, a toxic type that Stoicism warns us about. Manipulators are the cunning players in the game of human interactions, always scheming for personal gain through deceit and exploitation. They present themselves as well-meaning and trustworthy, only to reveal their true nature once they have achieved their goals. Manipulators might believe they are winning by constantly outmaneuvering others, but their short-term victories often lead to long-term isolation and mistrust. Stoicism teaches us that authentic relationships are built on respect and sincerity, not on manipulation and deceit. Genuine cooperation and lasting success come from valuing others as individuals with their own intrinsic worth, rather than viewing them as tools for personal advancement. As we navigate the complexities of our lives, it is essential to reject the manipulator's deceitful tactics and instead uphold the Stoic virtue of integrity. Consider this scenario. You have a colleague, Tom, who always seems to know the right thing to say to get people on his side. He's charming and persuasive, often getting others to do his work under the guise of teamwork. However, once he has achieved his objective, he is quick to take credit and leave others behind. Initially, Tom's tactics might seem effective, but over time, people begin to see through his facade. His reputation for manipulation spreads, and soon, trust in him erodes. Tom might achieve short-term success, but at the cost of his long-term relationships and respect within the workplace. This modern-day example illustrates the short-sighted nature of manipulation. While it might bring immediate benefits, the manipulator ultimately pays a higher price in the form of lost trust and genuine connections. The Stoic approach, in contrast, values honesty and integrity. By treating others with respect and sincerity, we build strong, lasting relationships that withstand the test of time. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed too good to be true, only to discover their true intentions later? How did you respond, and what did you learn from the experience? Reflecting on these questions can help us recognize and avoid manipulators in the future, guiding us to interact with others more authentically. Manipulators operate under the illusion that their cunning and deceit will lead them to success. However, Stoicism teaches us that true and lasting success is rooted in integrity and genuine respect for others. By embracing these principles, we can avoid the manipulator's pitfalls and cultivate relationships built on trust and sincerity. The key lesson here is that manipulation might offer quick wins, but it ultimately leads to isolation and failure. In contrast, integrity and respect pave the way for enduring success and meaningful connections. So, the next time you encounter a manipulator, remember Epictetus's wisdom and choose to react with integrity and honesty, ensuring that your path is one of true Stoic virtue. 12. The Irritable. Let's delve into the 12th type of person Stoicism warns us about, the angry individual. Seneca, a revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." This statement encapsulates the Stoic understanding of anger. At its root, anger often stems from unfulfilled desires and a deep-seated feeling of powerlessness. An angry person feels slighted by the world, leading to resentment and a desperate need to assert dominance through outbursts of rage and acts of retaliation. Imagine being caught in a storm of your own making, where clarity of thought and constructive action are nowhere to be found. This is the reality for an angry person. Their reasoning becomes clouded, words turn sharp and hurtful, and actions become impulsive. They often misinterpret the words and actions of others, seeing slights and offenses where there may be none, thereby escalating conflicts rather than resolving them. As followers of Stoic philosophy, we are guided to resist emulating the angry. It's essential to acknowledge that while anger might arise involuntarily, we have the power to choose our response to it. The Stoic path advocates for seeking pause and perspective when faced with provocation. Wisdom lies in this moment of pause, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Succumbing to anger not only distorts our judgment but also taints our existence with negativity. Epictetus, another esteemed Stoic, offers a profound insight. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. This quote urges us to liberate ourselves from the control of our tempers through rational composure. Anger enslaves us, making us puppets to our emotional whims. By mastering our response to anger, we reclaim our autonomy and live more harmoniously. Consider this in your own life. How often have you allowed anger to dictate your actions? Reflect on those moments and ask yourself if the outcome was truly beneficial. Did it solve the problem, or did it create more turmoil? By asking such questions, we start to understand the destructive nature of anger and the importance of maintaining our equanimity. To further illustrate, let's revisit a famous Stoic exercise, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves mentally preparing for potential challenges and adversities. By anticipating possible provocations, we train ourselves to respond calmly rather than react with anger. For instance, if you know a colleague's behavior might irritate you, envision the scenario and rehearse your composed response. This preparation fosters resilience and helps maintain your inner peace amidst external chaos. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasizes self-control and patience. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This Stoic principle teaches us that responding with virtue and composure is far more powerful than retaliating with anger. It highlights the value of maintaining our integrity and not allowing others' actions to dictate our behavior. In today's fast-paced world where stress and frustration are common, the lessons of Stoicism are more relevant than ever. Anger can manifest in various forms, from road rage to workplace conflicts. Yet by embracing Stoic teachings, we can navigate these challenges with grace and rationality. Imagine the impact on your daily interactions if you approached each situation with calm deliberation rather than emotional reactivity. Now let's pause and reflect. What are the triggers that ignite your anger? How can you apply the Stoic principle of seeking pause and perspective in these moments? Engaging with these questions helps deepen your understanding and encourages practical application of Stoic wisdom. To bring this full circle, let's remember Seneca's words. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. By internalizing this message, we recognize the self-destructive nature of anger and the importance of cultivating inner peace. When faced with provocation, instead of reacting with anger, strive to respond with reason and self-mastery. This practice not only enhances your personal well-being, but also contributes to a more harmonious and compassionate world. As we conclude this segment, I encourage you to ponder, how can you integrate the Stoic approach to anger into your daily life? What steps can you take to ensure that your responses are guided by rational composure rather than emotional impulsivity? Engaging with these reflections will not only enhance your understanding of Stoicism, but also empower you to live a more balanced and fulfilling life. Are you still with us? We'd love to hear from you. Have you come across any of these types of people in your own life? How did you deal with them? Are there other types you believe Stoicism cautions us against that we didn't cover? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on our Stoic journeys. Stay strong and keep finding your inner peace. 13. The reckless. Another crucial aspect is recognizing and steering clear of individuals who embody traits that can disrupt our peace and progress. The impulsive risk-taker. By examining their behavior and the consequences thereof, we can better appreciate the Stoic virtues of prudence, wisdom, and self-control. The impulsive risk-taker epitomizes the antithesis of Stoic wisdom. These individuals leap into danger with reckless abandon, disregarding the potential fallout of their actions. They test boundaries without consideration, finding a misguided thrill in taking unnecessary risks. Like moths to a flame, they ignore cautionary tales and plunge into perilous ventures, as though immune to life's inherent unpredictabilities. This reckless behavior not only jeopardizes their own well-being, but also ensnares those around them, creating ripples of chaos and distress. Their lack of foresight and restraint sets the stage for inevitable calamities, and yet they remain blind to the lessons embedded in their failures. These individuals often dismiss their errors, shirk responsibility, and persist in their capricious pursuits, missing the opportunity for growth that introspection and accountability offer. Stoicism, a philosophy that champions a life guided by reason, emphasizes the importance of temperance and wisdom. Seneca wisely stated, "Nothing is more dishonorable than rashness." This quote underscores the Stoic belief that true courage is not found in reckless actions, but in thoughtful deliberation and prudent decision-making. The impulsive risk-taker, in their pursuit of thrill, gains nothing of lasting value. Their actions, devoid of wisdom, lead not to virtue but to misfortune. In contrast, the Stoic way of life advocates for disciplined restraint and a mindful acknowledgement of the consequences of our actions. Our obligations to ourselves and our community necessitate a careful consideration of our choices and the impacts they have on others. In modern life, the impulsive risk-taker can be seen in various guises. Those who gamble their savings on speculative investments, drive recklessly without regard for safety, or engage in high-risk behaviors without due consideration. The allure of quick gains or the thrill of danger often blinds them to the potential costs. As members of a society, it is our duty to practice and promote the Stoic virtues of prudence and wisdom. By doing so, we not only safeguard our own well-being, but also contribute to the stability and harmony of our community. To cultivate a Stoic mindset, we must learn to pause and reflect before making decisions, especially those that involve significant risks. The wisdom of Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This quote encourages us to envision our desired state of being, calm, rational, and wise, and to let this vision guide our actions. By adhering to this principle, we can avoid the pitfalls of impulsive risk-taking and foster a life of virtue and stability. Avoiding the impulsive risk-taker is essential for maintaining a Stoic path. Their recklessness serves as a stark reminder of the value of reasoned decision-making and the importance of learning from our experiences. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can navigate life's challenges with a clear mind and a steady hand, ensuring that our actions contribute positively to our own lives and the lives of those around us. Let us remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By cultivating thoughtful and prudent thoughts, we can build a foundation of wisdom and virtue, steering clear of the dangers posed by impulsive risk-takers and living a life aligned with Stoic principles. 14. The Unprincipled. Within Stoic discourse, the unscrupulous character emerges as a troubling archetype. These individuals operate devoid of ethical grounding and moral compass, resorting to dishonorable means for personal gain. Unfettered by the dichotomy of right and wrong, they are prone to deception, treachery, theft, and the betrayal of trust to fulfill their desires, subscribing to a philosophy where the ends invariably justify the means. Such persons lack a genuine moral core, easily betraying confidences and manipulating others' vulnerabilities for advantage. They view their fellow humans as mere stepping stones or instruments for use. This approach to life invariably leads to their downfall. Their reputation for deceit eventually earns them widespread contempt. The path they carve is strewn with the disillusionment and wreckage of lives they've impacted. Any success they attain is ultimately empty. Stoicism holds that the pursuit of virtue and honorable goals is the true measure of success. While external achievements are transient, moral integrity is everlasting. We must prefer the loss of all externalities over the forfeiture of our inner values. Ultimately, the unscrupulous possess nothing of enduring value. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a branch cut away from the branch beside it is simultaneously cut away from the whole tree. In our everyday lives, we inevitably encounter individuals who embody the qualities of the unscrupulous. These are the people who lie without remorse, cheat to get ahead, and exploit the kindness of others for their gain. You might find them in various walks of life, from the workplace to social circles, always ready to take advantage of any situation. Imagine working on a team project and having a member who constantly takes credit for others' ideas, manipulates the truth to cover their mistakes, and uses any means necessary to ensure they look good in front of the boss. Initially, they might seem successful, perhaps even admired for their cunning and resourcefulness, but over time, the facade crumbles as their true nature becomes evident. Colleagues start to see through the deception, trust erodes, and their reputation suffers. Eventually, their once bright prospects dim as the very foundations of their success, built on lies and manipulation, collapse. One real-life story that resonates is that of a promising executive in a large corporation. He was known for his sharp mind and quick ascendancy through the ranks. However, his rise was marred by unethical decisions. He often took credit for his team's work, spread false rumors about competitors, and made deals that benefited him personally at the company's expense. For a while, he enjoyed significant perks and power. But as investigations into his conduct began, the truth surfaced. His peers, who once admired him, turned away. His career came to an abrupt halt, and he found himself isolated and disgraced. This story is a modern-day reflection of the ancient Stoic warning against the unscrupulous. The executive's temporary success could not shield him from the long-term consequences of his actions. His story serves as a poignant reminder that true success is not measured by fleeting achievements, but by the enduring legacy of one's character. So, what can we learn from this? The Stoics teach us that integrity and virtue are the cornerstones of a fulfilling and honorable life. In every action and decision, we must weigh our choices against the principles of honesty, fairness, and respect for others. When we prioritize our moral compass over short-term gains, we build a foundation of trust and respect that stands the test of time. This approach not only shields us from the eventual downfall that befalls the unscrupulous, but also fosters genuine and lasting success. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed successful but achieved their status through unethical means? How did their actions impact their relationships and long-term success? Reflecting on these questions can help us understand the importance of steadfastly adhering to our values. By choosing to act with integrity, even when faced with challenges or temptations, we cultivate a life of true fulfillment and respect. The message is clear: avoid the unscrupulous and strive to be the opposite. Let your actions be guided by virtue, and let your success be a reflection of your moral integrity. As Epictetus wisely said, we should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? Focusing on what we can control, our actions and our ethics, we ensure that our legacy is one of honor and respect, not of betrayal and deceit. Through the steadfast application of Stoic principles, we can navigate life's complexities with a clear conscience and an unshakable sense of purpose. 15. The malicious. And here is the 15th type of person Stoicism warns us about: the malevolent. These individuals derive a perverse satisfaction from cruelty, domination, and the suffering of others. Their actions stem from a profound lack of empathy, making them exceptionally dangerous. They see kindness as a weakness, taking pleasure in causing pain, whether through outright intimidation or subtle psychological manipulation. This aggression often conceals deep-seated insecurities and a sadistic nature. Consider the havoc they wreak on personal relationships and the broader community. Their brutal and exploitative behavior breeds fear and mistrust, leaving a trail of trauma and despair. Stoicism teaches us that our destinies are interconnected. Thus, harming another person is ultimately harming oneself. This interconnectedness underscores the Stoic belief in shared humanity and mutual respect. By actively resisting the temptation to engage in cruelty, we uphold the essence of our humanity and the bonds that tie us together. True strength, according to Stoicism, lies not in dominating others, but in elevating them through compassion and kindness. This principle is echoed in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, who said, "To harm others is to harm yourself." The malevolent may seem to thrive through their wickedness, but they ultimately forfeit their humanity. When malevolent individuals rise to positions of power, they pose a significant threat. It is crucial, therefore, to reject and restrain those who take pleasure in inflicting pain. In a flourishing society, there is no place for malevolence. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to relish in others' suffering? How did their actions impact you and those around them? This reflection can help us better understand the destructive nature of malevolence and reinforce the Stoic call to oppose it. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate virtues that strengthen our character and improve our communities. By rejecting malevolence and embracing kindness, we contribute to a more compassionate and just world. Imagine a world where everyone strives to support and uplift each other. What kind of society would that be? Reflecting on this question can inspire us to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in our daily lives. Each of us has the power to make a difference, starting with small acts of kindness and extending to larger efforts to promote social justice. Remember, Stoicism is not just a philosophy for personal development, but also a guide for building better communities. By identifying and avoiding toxic individuals, we protect our well-being and foster environments where positive values can flourish. This proactive approach to dealing with malevolence aligns with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature, which includes nurturing healthy relationships and contributing to the common good. As we navigate our interactions with others, let's remain vigilant against the influence of malevolent individuals. Let their behavior serve as a reminder of the importance of empathy and compassion. In what ways can you practice these virtues in your own life? How can you help create spaces where kindness and mutual respect are the norms? By contemplating these questions and incorporating Stoic wisdom into our actions, we can resist the harmful effects of malevolence and promote a more harmonious society. The journey towards personal and collective virtue is ongoing, and every step we take in resisting cruelty and embracing kindness brings us closer to the Stoic ideal of a life well lived. So, as you go about your day, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. To harm others is to harm yourself. Let this be a guiding principle in your interactions, helping you to recognize and avoid malevolent individuals while striving to embody the virtues that Stoicism champions. Together we can create a world where compassion and kindness prevail and where malevolence has no place. As we come to the end of our discussion today, let's remember that the wisdom of Stoicism is meant to be put into practice. The types of people we've explored serve as reminders of the behaviors we should avoid both in others and within ourselves. Reflect on your encounters with such individuals. How have you handled these situations? How will you approach them moving forward with your newfound understanding of Stoicism? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below so we can learn and grow together. If you found value in today's video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit. To stay connected and continue your journey with us, be sure to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content. Thank you for watching. Until next time, may you embrace the principles of Stoicism with strength and tranquility, finding both peace and purpose in your daily life.